This is a 3 News special.
Kia ora, good evening. The Minister of Health is about to make an announcement on the deadly swine flu. 25 students and staff from Auckland's Rangitoto College returned yesterday from a school trip to Mexico, and 18 of that group had flu-like symptoms. Now, we understand that the Minister is about to announce that some of those students have tested positive for the swine flu that has killed at least 80 people in Mexico and left more than 1,300 ill. We're going to cross live shortly to the announcement in Wellington, but for now we're joined by our reporter Melissa Davies, who's been tracking this story for us all day. Melissa, this is potentially a very grave situation.
That's right. I mean, there were 25 people in that group, but 18 of them have reported influenza-like illnesses. 4 of them have been described as relatively severe with respiratory problems, and then 14 of the others have some minor flu-like symptoms.
So let's talk about the international gravity of this situation. There have been reported cases in New York, California, Kansas and even in London, and it's certainly getting some international attention also.
That's right. Well, the New Zealand situation even has made it to CNN's website, and it's the top story there. It says worldwide swine flu, New Zealand staff and students. We've also had the Australian networks calling us all day wondering what we had in the way of interviews here. So there is a lot of attention worldwide and a lot of attention now on New Zealand.
Let's get some real background on the story and take a look at the package that we've put together on the background of this terrible disease. Yes, it all sounds very frightening indeed. Well, let's go back to Melissa now. Melissa, Rangitoto College, of course, has 3,500 students. It's a large school. What the parents of those students, school starts back tomorrow, it's the end of the school holidays. What advice should we be handing down to parents of that school?
Well, I spoke to David Hodge, the principal of Rangitoto College, a short time ago, and he said he's been in contact with health authorities all day. He's been in contact with the students and their families. The first thing he said to me was obviously there's a lot of anxiety amongst them all. But he said school will go ahead as normal tomorrow. He said the students and the staff that were on that group were quarantined quite quickly once they got back, so it's unlikely they would have had any contact with any other staff or students at the school. So parents, students at Rangitoto College can expect that school will continue as normal.
Okay, so as usual, let's talk about some of the things that you can do to stop the spread of an infection. There are some steps that if parents are worried about their children that they can do. Let's go through some of those.
That's right. I spoke with the Auckland Regional Public Health Service today, and they've given quite a detailed information pack. They say the best things people can do to stop the spread of influenza are to stay home and just stay away from others if you're feeling sick. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue, put used tissues into a rubbish bin. Avoid spreading germs by touching your eyes, your nose, your mouth. Wash and dry your hands frequently. It's just those general hygiene procedures that people need to be quite rigorous about.
Okay, well that is good advice indeed. Let's just recap that of the 25 that came back from this trip to Mexico, 18 of them presented flu-like symptoms, and of that group, 13 were tested, and we understand that 10 of that group from Rangitoto College have returned positive results for the swine flu. Well, Minister of Health Tony Ryle has just finished a media conference in Wellington and he joins us now. Minister, how seriously is the government taking this outbreak?
Well, the government's taking this very seriously, as New Zealanders would expect us to do. We've been advised by the Ministry of Health that these 10 students have tested positive for influenza A, and the swine flu is a subset of influenza A. So there's no guarantee that they do have the swine flu, but the Ministry of Health officials advise me that they consider it highly likely that they do. We will have confirmation in the next few days as the swabs are sent to Melbourne for further analysis.
So, Minister, what's being done to contain the spread of this possible swine flu? Tell me, is medication available for these people?
Yeah, these students are isolated at home, and the Regional Public Health in Auckland is working with those families. They're being supplied with Tamiflu. The national Tamiflu stocks have been released to enable this to happen. What I can tell you is that I've been advised that none of those young people have very serious symptoms, and most are on the road to recovery. So that's the positive news here. However, the government's taking this very seriously, and the ministry officials officials have moved the country to code yellow, which essentially means that there will be increased surveillance, and people arriving on North American flights will be told that if they have flu-like symptoms, they should be in touch with their doctor or other health authorities.
Okay, because of course NZ1, that was the plane that these people came in on yesterday from Los Angeles at 5 o'clock yesterday morning. What is the advice for those people that perhaps worrying tonight, watching this and worrying that they perhaps might have contracted this?
Oh look, this is a very worrying time for those patients and passengers rather, and very worrying for the families of the kids who've returned. Look, the thing that the government and the health authorities are saying that is if anybody has flu-like symptoms who was on that flight or has recently returned from Mexico, then they should be in touch with their GP or other health authorities. Be in touch and get any treatment or advice that you might need.
What about the other students at Rangitoto College? Are they in any danger?
No, school's going to be open tomorrow, but those kids who were on the tour will be staying at home. We've received some information very late this evening that some other kids are developing symptoms. That's being dealt with by the regional public health people in Auckland, who've been doing a very good job of providing help and information to the families affected.
Minister, I can actually tell you that we have recently, in the last few moments, received a phone call from a parent concerned that at least one of the students who returned from Mexico went and played interclub soccer yesterday. Are you confident that that quarantine will work to contain the flu in this sort of instance?
Look, I can tell you that this sort of contact tracing, as they call it, is underway, and we'll be doing our level best to make sure that we're in touch with everybody who may be at risk from this. But let me assure you, the information that we've received is that those kids are on the road to recovery, but we do have to be vigilant, and that's why additional precautions are being taken.
Minister, just finally, if you can reiterate that health warning for us so we can be clear what people need to be alert of.
Well, the message from the health authorities is anybody on NZ1, the flight that came in from Los Angeles yesterday at 5 o'clock, and anyone who's been recently to Mexico who has any flu-like symptoms, please be in touch with your GP, with your nurse or any other health authorities to have those symptoms checked and to get the treatment that you need. That's the best thing you could do.
Tony Ryle, Minister of Health, thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate that you have joined us this evening with an update. Well, just a reminder, we will have the Minister of Health live again on Sunrise tomorrow morning with any updates on this developing story, and we will also cross live to Rangitoto College. But that concludes our 3 News special for this evening. From the newsroom, good night.
This is a 3 News special.